the Saigon Autotech Accessories Tradeshow in Ho Chi Minh City, formerly known as Saigon right now. This is the SECC building, Saigon Exhibition Convention Center. This is the biggest trade show exhibition center in Ho Chi Minh City. If you attend a trade show here, you will most likely be going to this building. So there are two parts to this building. Right now we are entering the accessories part of the trade show, and on the other side is the car part. So this side is a lot quieter. So I'm gonna walk around so you can have yourself a look. To give a brief overview of the Vietnamese automotive industry, it's still very small, but it's growing very quickly. So if you've ever been to Vietnam, you'll notice that there's a lot more motorcycles on the road than there are cars, but this is starting to change. Domestic demand, along with import tariffs, is helping to boost the motorcycle parts industry. However, it's still in the early stages of development and it hasn't started exporting a whole lot. And the car parts industry is even further behind. However, the government is getting behind, and with import tariffs, along with increasing demand for cars and increasing domestic demand, they are hoping to help develop this industry so that they can start selling overseas. So this drone company right here is actually a Vietnamese company, and I asked them, they said they're going to start selling in the year 2025, and they're going to be selling here in Vietnam. So in Ho Chi Minh City, you'll actually be able to, supposedly, according to them, you'll be able to actually fly that drone around. I believe it'll be sort of like a Didi or like an Uber, Grab, one of those kind of taxi apps, probably just for very wealthy people, but they're telling me 2025, so come to Ho Chi Minh in 2025, you'll see some of those things flying around the air. So this drone is interesting. They told me it's going to be used for agriculture, and in the coming years, 80% of all commercial drones will be used in this industry. Right now, a third of Thailand's workforce and over half of India's population is engaged in agriculture. This is why India launched the Make in India initiative in 2014, so that all of the people who lose their jobs from automation will be able to find new ones. So I know this is a little unrelated to the trade show, but I think this is very interesting because I think it's going to drive down labor costs in much of South Asia. Okay, so this trade show is somewhat typical in many ways. Usually there's a bit more international guests, more people from Western countries. This time it was mostly Asia, but you know, it kind of had everything that you're used to seeing. On the first day, there's a lot of very theatrical things. There's a lot of performances, a lot of dancing, a lot of models standing in front of whatever product. I guess with cars this time, there are a few more models, a little bit more dancing, a bit more music. But as somebody who works in a third-party quality control, this wasn't the greatest trade show. One of the reasons was because a lot of the people there were actually selling machinery to suppliers in Vietnam. So that they could basically manufacture auto parts. So one good thing though is that I was able to learn quite a bit about this industry. So I know auto parts is mostly Thailand. Thailand's like number one in auto parts in basically all of South Asia. But from what I heard, most people say Thailand is number one right now, but Vietnam is starting to eat into their market share. One of the reasons is that the cost of labor in Vietnam is much lower than it is in Thailand. Another reason is because of the engineering quality in Vietnam. So just to give you an understanding of Vietnam's engineers, they have a population of about 100 million, and they graduate about 100,000 engineers every single year. So just to put that into comparison with a country like Germany. Germany is known for having very good engineers. Germany has about 80 million people, and they graduate about 40,000 engineers every year. So Vietnam's graduating basically double per capita than Germany with engineers. And this is somewhat new. This is due to fairly recent changes in the education policy. So right now you have a lot of good engineers entering the workforce, and their salaries are like 1/5, 1/8 of what they're making in Western countries. So basically in the past, Vietnam was good for footwear, for coffee, for textiles, but right now they're way too skilled to be doing those things. So right now you're starting to see a lot more technical products being made in Vietnam. So a lot of LEDs are coming to Vietnam, a lot of household appliances, so washing machines, blenders, ovens, refrigerators, those sort of things. They're coming from China oftentimes, and Vietnam's now making them at a much cheaper cost. And I think auto parts could be another industry that starts to move to Vietnam because of the engineering quality.